going to understand functions in Python now. So what we have here is let's see the first question. So what are some uses of functions? So the general idea behind functions is that you can reuse them, okay, is one major reason, okay? You could reuse them for different inputs. So what does that mean? So like I could say, so the way you define a function is you write def. That's always you're defining a function. You're defining, and a good way to think of it is as a function. Also, it's often called a procedure function. Same thing, but a good way to think of a procedure or a function is like a machine. So you write def and you name your machine. The name of your machine could be anything. Okay, I'm gonna put add to list, and then I'm gonna put n or I don't know visit or it doesn't matter name. Okay, I mean I don't know if name is one of the okay. Name. Okay, and I'll put whatever. Let's make it clear. There we go. Name. Okay, now what does this do? What is it that I just wrote? So I started building my machine. What I did was the first thing I named my machine. The name of my machine is AD list with a capital L, and the capital matters. It takes in one input, this variable name or this input name. Okay, you click return and it immediately indents over for you. Everything indented over is part of your machine. Okay, so whatever I write here is going to be part of my machine. So I'm going to put print hello, and then I'm going to put name in the next slide. So that way we'll see what this does, and then I'm going to say I'm actually going to make guest list, and then let's say I'm going to do append. I think this is the right syntax, guest list. Maybe it's not. No, it's guest list append. Guest list append. Maybe not. Append name. Okay, and what this could do is, and even if I go like this, let's do it right. Let's do this. So, let's do this. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, now, here. Don't worry about what I did here. Just listen to the function aspect. So you have this function, okay, and you're just building this machine, and this is what your machine does. Everything that's indented over. After you indent outside, right, you just have your machine built, but you haven't used it. Now this machine, right, I said it takes in an input, takes in an input, it takes in an input name, right? So this is now name. So what does this add list do? It first prints hello and then the name that you put in here, this input name. Then this code right here adds this name to this list up here. So let's see if I did this right. So, okay, first thing, boom, I did it. If I take this out, right, let's wait for the motorcycle. Na 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 na. Okay, good. Okay, so what did I do here? Again, I just built the machine. Okay, I uh, I didn't use the machine. Okay, so when I run this, right, literally nothing happens. You see, I just click run, run, run. Nothing happens because I didn't use the machine. I have to say that I want to use the machine if something is to happen. So I need to go like this. Now, this line number 6 won't make any sense unless I actually built this add list up here. You see, it's saying when it goes to 6, it says use this machine that I built here with this input. And then it does something. Then it does what the machine is supposed to do, how I built it. I built it so it prints hello, whatever I put as the input, and then it adds that input to this list. So let's see. So it just says hello, Mr. Nandon, but I could change my machine so at the end of this, it literally prints that guest list. Okay, so let's see now. You see? And then it printed the guest list. There's only one name on the guest list right now. But what's useful about functions, one of the things that's useful about functions, one of some of the uses, is that reusability. I could then just go add list, I don't know, Bob, right? And then now let's see what happens. So now this function, it first runs for Mr. Nandon, this input. It prints hello, Mr. Nandon. Then it prints the list. Then it adds my name to the list. Sorry, this is guest list.append. Append means to add, and it's adding the input that I put for this function onto the list. Then it prints the guest list. So that's this here. That's this part. That's line 7. But then at line 8, it does the same thing again, but now for Bob, and it reprints the list. And if you notice, now 2 names are on this guest list. And I could literally, anytime I want to add someone to this list, this guest list, right, I can just run this function. I could just keep going. I could just keep using the machine, and it's going to keep adding all these names to the list. So let's see. You see, and it does it again, and then boom, I have this final list is with all the names that I put. And this is a general use of functions. You have it where you could sit here and reuse it over and over and over, and just keep making more and more, adding more and more names to this list. You could do other things, obviously, but this is one of the main uses. Then reusability. Then another thing that is absolutely necessary if you're going to answer this question correctly. What are some of the uses of functions? Is that it can help you code more complicated things and very clearly. So you might have some complicated idea. You might want to get one task done, a subtask, so to speak. It's very useful, okay, to first define a function that gets that subtask done and then call it. So what I did here, these are called calls to the function. When you use a function, you're calling the function. This is the way you would call the function. So I could come up here with add list and name, but then I could literally define another function. I could say, I don't know, ask age, and then I could just say y, and then I could use this, right? And I could say, I could say if, right? I could put an if statement. If, I don't know, if age or if y is less than, or better yet, for, all right, so I'm writing a for loop. I don't want to do that because that's too complicated for you guys, but all right, if y is less than 10, right, print, sorry, you are too young. Okay, and now what this does is, but I'm not using the two functions together. I was trying to use them together, but let's see, how could we do it? So another way we could do it, you see, we could mix these two functions together, these two machines in an intricate way, and that's the general another use. But okay, if you guys can't explain that, don't worry about it. Try your best with uses of functions, reusability, and then it helps you write more complicated code. Okay. Now, how is a function defined? How is a function defined? A function is defined by literally just putting def, the name of your function, and then whatever inputs there are to your function. Your function can take as many inputs as you like. Okay, but it's just that when you call the function, like in this case, like let's say I say age, I want to use it. Age is I don't know, 33. You go and then you click run, right? What happened here? So wait, why didn't it work? It should print definition age wise. Because the if statement is false, right? So if you're 3, right, then you see sorry you are too young because the if statement was false, right? But if it's, so I should say, so an else statement, what that does is that runs if the original condition is false. So this original condition, if it's 30, whatever, 35, then this if statement is false, and then this else code will run. And then I can say enjoy the ride. And then you have it. You see, it'll be enjoy the ride because 35. But then if it's someone else, right, and then there are only 2, Then you see the first one is that age is 35. Sorry, you are too young. But if you want to see how I can mix these two and get really fancy with this, you could say for name or for n in guest list, um, if y is less than. I mean, you see, I would have to ask every single guest for their age, and then we could compare that value in here and run a for loop or run a loop over all the names, and then it can conclude whether you can go on the ride or not. But that'll take some time. We don't have time for that right now. But basically, yeah, that's the idea. Okay, how is a function defined? Just put def. That's how a function is defined. Def, the name of the function, and then the inputs for the function. You put the semicolon or the colon, and then you click enter. Everything indented 1 over is part of your function. So for example, everything here is part of this function add list. Okay, the input to this list is name. If I go definition at age, if y is greater than, let's say, 10, print enjoy ride. And basically then you could use this function, okay? And you could use the function like this. And I want a full answer to this. So how is a function defined? Let's add a little bit more to this right now so it's clear what it is that I want. How is a function defined? How is it used? And then, yeah, so how is it used? What are, or what should I say? How do I ask the question about inputs, right? So what or where are the inputs? Where are the inputs? How is it used? Okay, how is it used? It's used like this. You type the name, and then this is the input value. And again, that input value can change. And that's what's nice. You could change it. So it gives you 2 different values depending upon how you have this constructed, right? You could do it where it's going to give you the same value both times, right? Enjoy the ride because both people are over 10. Right? Y has to be greater than 10, enjoy the ride, okay? Similarly, right, I could put in anything, add list name, and then I could put in a name, right? And it says hello, and then it adds that name to the guest list value, okay? But okay, all right, yeah, and then that's how you use it. All right, basic idea. What are the inputs? Okay, that's fine. Write a function that will print hello name. Okay, you guys are on your own with that. Write a function of your own that runs an if statement. Okay, obviously on your own, do not just copy this code, but though there's answers to the remaining questions in the video that I just made. In this video are answers to the 3 and 4, okay? It shouldn't be too hard given what it is that I went through.